In today's session of Divorce Court, Sandra Brown was 16 when she married Michael, and now she says it was the biggest mistake of her life.
I was a child trying to be a woman. We didn't have no family. We had a child. You wasn't financially taking care of me, that baby. What was I to do? Go to work.
And she says when he refused to take care of their family, the marriage was over.
We would no longer accept any handouts because this is a man and he needs to stand up and take care of his responsibility.
See, everything about her is never enough. If her cup is half full, it's empty to her.
We got into a financial bind. Things started happening when we wound up having another child.
What, you couldn't think of anything else to do but have sex?
Today, Sandra Brown wants Michael Brown to pay as they square off in divorce court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is the matter of Michael Brown versus Sandra Brown. I am advised, Mrs. Brown, that after 7 years of marriage and you've been separated for 3 years, now you're ready to end it. What's going on?
Well, Your Honor, me and Mr. Brown, we had a relationship that stemmed from our teenage years. And going into that relationship, we were parents early on. We then had,
You mean in high school or?
Yeah. Actually, I was in high school, and due to my pregnancy, I was forced to discontinue my high school days.
No, Your Honor, excuse me if I may. That is not true.
I don't know if you may or not. What's not true? That she got pregnant, that she was in high school, that she dropped out? Which part?
It's not true that she was forced to drop out because
Michael,
of the
you know
pregnancy.
that's true.
Were you pregnant in high school?
Yes, I was pregnant. Not only was I pregnant, he decided that he wanted to move to a different city where we had no family.
No,
and no, it ain't no. We moved to another city. We didn't have no family. We had a child. What else was I to do? You wasn't financially taking care of me, that baby. What was I to do? Go to work.
So then what happened?
As I stated, after I became pregnant, shortly after, matter of fact, we moved to another city when my child was 3 days old.
So you moved to another city with this man when your baby is 3 days old?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
All right, then what happened?
When we got to the other city, the cost of living was higher than what it normally was where we came from. We had no financial support. We only had one set of friends, which was his best friend and his wife. And so, therefore, it caused us to get into a financial rut.
Why did you move to another city?
No, that is not true.
Why did we move to another city? Because he thought that the job opportunity was better in the city that we moved to, which is
a larger city.
Yes, it was a larger city.
So he was trying to better the situation.
He was trying to better the situation. Yes, sir. Yes, he was.
Excuse me.
But what happened? You got into a financial bind.
Yes, we got into a financial bind. Circumstances,
no,
things started happening one after another. We wind up having another child. So then,
while you're in a financial bind with the first one, you have another one?
Yes.
What, you couldn't think of anything else to do but have sex?
Excuse me.
I'm not going to say that, Your Honor, but just circumstances, we did have another child.
Your Honor, if I may, at the point to which we moved to a larger city, I had 2 jobs. We were not in any type of financial situation.
Well, so what made her think you were, and you saying you weren't?
The only explanation I have for her is her. The expound of how she is right now. Her mind is kind of scattered. I don't really understand what's going on because I worked 2 jobs.
Well, maybe you didn't bring the money home.
Yes, I did. I brought all the money home.
So you
worked 2 jobs. I made sure that we had everything.
Like what?
A place to stay, a car to drive,
we didn't have any
a decent
furniture.
lifestyle.
The television that we had was given to us by my family.
To stay. What about your baby? Did you have food and clothing for the child?
His mother took care of our child the first couple of years, and when we had our second child, I actually placed a call to his mother, telling his mother we would no longer accept any handouts because this is a man and he needs to stand up and take care of his responsibilities.
Wait a minute. Now, the 2 of you are living in the same household together.
Yes, Your Honor.
And now that you're standing up here talking to me, you don't know whether you were working. I mean, it seems like you're total strangers. This man is saying we lived together and I was working 2 jobs.
Your Honor.
Hold on a second, Miss Brown. And you're telling me he wasn't working at all?
Your Honor, over a period of time, which brought us to our separation, he was not working. If someone worked in the beginning and you stand by there and you work and y'all try to build something together and this person loses their focus, then what I mean, as far as I last recall, he wasn't working.
So what happened, Mr. Brown?
See, everything about her is never enough. If her cup is half full, it's empty to her. It's not half full, it's empty.
Should I set my expectations low?
Not yet.
Working, you know, me, even within working 2 jobs.
So did you work 2 jobs and provide a house and you provided food and you provided clothing?
We
Yes,
stayed
ma'am.
in
And
a efficiency apartment.
Yes, ma'am.
You stayed
That's
where?
a roof over your head.
Efficiency.
It was
a small apartment.
A small apartment.
So on his income, what did you expect to stay in?
That isn't a roof.
With the income.
Excuse me?
I was accepting of that at that time, Your Honor. But it comes a time in your life where you
I'm
want to
19
better
years old.
yourself.
But yeah, that's what I was about to ask. How old are you?
How old am I? He's 19 and I'm 16. No, you were 20 and I was 16. What did I expect? I didn't expect anything at that time, Your Honor. I was acceptable with that.
Well, you know, at 16, you really should have still been at home with your mom.
I probably should have been, but
She didn't have
circumstances I wasn't.
No, she didn't have a home life.
So you were in an efficiency apartment?
Yes, we were living, we were comfortable, everything was okay.
Well, you thought you were comfortable. She wasn't comfortable.
He wasn't either.
I was comfortable with myself and with my relationship.
What led to the separation, Your Honor? He was so focused into making me a better person, he lost track of his own life.
Okay, tell me what you mean by that.
For instance, Mr. Brown can have the rent money. He wants so much to make me happy. He will go he'll salvage our rent money to go do whatever that it was I wanted.
Okay, now, to go do whatever it was that I wanted. To go do what, Mrs. Brown?
Say, for instance, we had friends in town and we wanted to entertain our friends, but he got our rent money in our pocket. The type of work that he does, he didn't have an income to say, I knew he was getting paid $300 this week. 1 week he may get paid $1,000. 1 week he may get paid $5,000. I didn't know
his income fluctuated.
His income fluctuated. So if he's out on the town winding it down, and I might think this is a good week for him. I didn't question, how much money you got. You got the rent money put up. Granted, like I tried to get Mr. Brown to understand,
so
I
you're
was
telling
a
me he
child.
was trying to please you, and in trying to please you, he made poor judgments financially?
Poor judgment financially.
And he'd take your friends out and wine and dine you and not pay the rent?
Exactly.
No.
And you
bring
didn't know
your
that?
family or whatever.
No.
Living above your means?
Basically.
Well, were you constantly asking for more than you could afford?
Your Honor,
Yes,
I was not. I was not.
Hold on a second.
I was a very content person with the situation that we
you
were
weren't
in.
content. Now you're content. How
Mrs.
could
Brown,
you be?
you're saying 2 different things to me.
What are you saying? See,
First you
of
said
all,
he wasn't trying to do anything for you. Then you said he encouraged you
Your
to go
Honor, do you realize that's 7 years we're talking about? At one period, yes, you can be content. At the next minute, you want to move on to bigger and better. You, just as you stated, I was a child. So I was a child trying to be a woman.
Okay,
I did not have, the outlook that I have on life at that time.
When divorce court returns, the judge questions Sandra about the things she says Michael can't give her.
You know what? I've been trying to ask you what lifestyle you wanted, and you haven't told me yet.
We don't want to be knowing where our next meal coming from. We want to have some financial security.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Sandra Brown, who says her husband Michael is a deadbeat dad.
So what outlook do you have now, Mrs. Brown?
I know that we have 2 children, that me and Mr. Brown both agreed that we wanted to bring them up in a better lifestyle than what we are at this time.
True.
Mr. Brown has neglected his responsibility.
How?
No, Your
we've
Honor,
been separated,
that is
Your
not
Honor,
true.
for 3 years. The separation was a mutual separation because at that time, me and Mr. Brown realized that we were not getting anywhere in our relationship.
Exactly.
It was a mutual. It wasn't that it was forced. It was mutual. We said we're going to be separated for 1 year in the outlook to better ourselves. Me deal with my issues that I had, be it my anger, my childhood, whatever. All
have
the
you
issues.
dealt with that?
I've dealt with that. Yes, I have.
It's not dealt with.
I've dealt with that.
Well, I got to turn to Mr. Brown because you said several things to me that don't, I need some explanation.
All right.
You're saying the man encouraged you to go to school to better your life, and in doing so, he lost focus on himself because he would spend the rent money trying to please you. What did she mean by that? What did you do?
That statement is not true. Okay. I used to come home and give her the money. In the end, I found out that the bills were not getting paid
Your
because
Honor,
she
he
wasn't.
is a lie. He's a lie.
she
He
would
was not
say-
even working at periods of time. I took care of
I've
him.
always,
Worked 2 jobs.
Mrs. Brown, calm down.
Because he a lie.
I've always worked, and at the period of time that I didn't work,
not the middle,
I've always-
nor the
Mrs.
end.
Brown, calm down, please.
I've always brought something into my household to assure that my household
What does she
ran.
mean by you spent money trying to please her? Did you go out buying extravagant gifts?
Do I got
Did you
any
go out
jewelry
doing
to
anything?
take? No.
So what do you mean he spent money trying to please you? I don't understand.
He entertained whoever. We didn't have much money, but the little resources we did have, we may go to an expensive restaurant.
That
So
is
you
not,
wined
that,
and
that
dined
is not
people.
true.
I wined
No.
and dined and did whatever else he drink or
No,
go out hang
that-
with
that
his
is not
friends
true,
or
Your
whatever.
Honor.
So what happened was you got tired of that and you wanted a bigger house and you wanted to move out of where you were?
No,
No,
he
I'm
wasn't
not going to.
that-
Your Honor, I got tired, not tired of saying I want a bigger house, but I got tired of the point where I wanted better for myself and my kids.
And you wanted to move out of that efficiency room?
No, we had moved from the efficiency, but when we did party, we lived in a 1-bedroom, so we did increase just a tad bit, but we had 2 children living in a 1-bedroom.
As you got older,
As I got older,
you decided you wanted more out of life.
Thank you. You
Just
put it
tell me that.
well put.
Just tell me that. And the little he was providing then, when you saw that there was more to life than this little bit, you wanted more.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Right. And now you said, instead of a man that brings home $500 a week, I may want somebody that brings home $1,000 a week. Or instead of living in a 1-bedroom house, I want to live in a 3-bedroom house.
Exactly.
And he couldn't provide that for you.
Basically.
That is not true.
Is that what happened?
Basically, that is true. Yes,
See, when
yes,
you're
Your
16
Honor.
and you marry
Excuse me.
somebody, you look at them when they making $200 a week, and it seems like a whole lot of money.
Yes.
When you're 25, you know $200 a
ain't
week is nothing.
Exactly.
That's
Excuse
what
me.
happens.
That is not true.
Yes.
I have my salary and my work ethic and everything I do have progressed since I've been
But Mr. Brown,
a
what
child
she's
to right
saying,
now.
it hasn't progressed enough for her. What do you want from me today?
What am I asking for today, Your Honor? Mm-hmm. Me and Michael have been separated for 3 years. As I originally stated, the separation was a mutual trial separation. We were supposed to be separated
a trial
for 1
separation.
year.
I don't care if it was mutual. I don't care if it was trial. I don't care. You separated.
We're
And it's clear
separated.
you're not getting back together, right?
Right.
That is correct.
Okay, now what you want?
At this time, I am asking Michael to be some financial relief for me to go to school, to pursue the education
Your Honor,
that
I have
need
been
in order
financially-
Hold on, Mr. Brown. I need to hear her statement,
in
please.
order for me to provide the lifestyle for our children that we both discussed in our years together. Mr. Brown, in the past 3
You know what?
years,
I've been trying to ask you what lifestyle you wanted, and you haven't told me yet.
She don't know.
when I speak of lifestyle, I'm not speaking of we want to stay in a mansion, but we want to be out of poverty. We don't want to be knowing where our next meal coming from. We want to have some financial security that we can be able to send our kids to college. If they need any additional things in life, we'll be able to provide that for them. We want that. Well, we did want that for our children. I want those things
And
for
you
my
still
children.
want it.
Exactly.
So you want to go to college?
I want to go to school. Yes.
And you want him to pay for it?
Yes, I do.
Excuse
So
me.
are you still working?
Yes, I am.
Excuse me.
And-
This is about, within this relationship, this is the third, maybe the second or third school that she went to that she did
And
not
I've
finish.
utilized it.
Mr. Brown, Ms. Brown, it's his turn now.
I understand.
This is only a whim that she go through. She always say, well, I want to be this year.
Okay, don't tell
Next
me
year
this.
she
What
wanna-
did she want to be before?
she wanted to go to secretary school.
Did you go? Did she go?
Yes, she did. She quit.
All right.
I was
She
pregnant.
wanted.
Mrs. Brown.
You was not pregnant.
I was pregnant
You
with
wanted-
our
See,
daughter.
I'm not real sure
Okay,
about
what's
the
the
other
next-
school.
next school?
She went to computer school.
Did she finish?
No, she did not.
She got
She
to work.
sacrificed. No, you did not have to work.
What
she
happened with that?
sacrificed. She just quit. She just get to a point where she want to do something else. Okay, now I want to be a hairstylist.
Did she go to
You
hair
know,
cosmetology school?
No, she did not. But that's just one of her dreams. So she just want to do
I
this.
did not.
So
You wanted to be a
Mrs.
hairstylist.
Brown,
and
I told you it's
Okay.
his turn.
right now, I don't have any problem with her bettering herself or building herself.
So
but
does
I
that
cannot,
mean that you don't have any problem with
I
her
cannot
paying for her
understand.
tuition?
Yes, ma'am. I do have a
Well,
problem
then
with
that's
that.
what I'm talking about.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict.
Miss Brown, close your mouth. I don't need your help. Now, if you open it again, you're out of here.
And an update on the case of Tracy Rains versus Jean Rains.
I'm young. You're old.
She dresses like a hooker.
He dresses like an old man.
Divorce court is back in the case of Sandra Brown, who says her husband Michael abandoned her and their 2 children for another woman.
Are you paying child support regularly?
At this point, no.
Why not?
In the last 5 months, I stopped
He
paying
has
because
another child now, that's why.
I stopped paying because
That's not going to stop him from paying child support for this child.
Or 2 children. Okay?
it's not.
Just
it's not.
answer me and tell me, why aren't you paying child support for these 2 children regularly?
If you pay me the child support,
Miss Brown, close your mouth.
In the instance,
I don't need your help. Now, if you open it again, you're out of here.
in the instance that I come over with my weekly money, pay her, she would not allow me to see my children.
I knew
She
you
would
were going there. How did
curse,
I know?
She would curse, say bad things to me and about me in front
Okay,
of my
so now,
children.
Mr. Brown, let me assume that she says all of that.
Okay, now.
When you go over to see your children and to give her some money, what's wrong with mailing?
Yeah, that's true.
What's wrong
That's
with
true.
that?
That option was weighed.
Mr. Brown, you're making an excuse.
That's not an excuse.
Yes, it is, because
Okay.
whether she wanted it or not,
Okay.
the children needed the money, she could send it through the mail.
That's
so you
right.
have 2 options.
Exactly.
Pay her child support, pay her tuition. What you want to do? On a
Yeah,
regular basis.
child support.
That's what I said. Does that sound like a foreign word to you? Child support.
I'm paying
Money
child support.
every
I
month for the
got
children.
receipts every week
You have to
that
keep
I pay
paying
her.
it, and you can't stop.
I don't stop. It's just when she
Mr. Brown, you pay it whether she gives you lip or not.
I don't even.
when was the last time you paid him, Mr. Brown?
I told you it's been 5
and Ms.
months.
Brown, bye. I asked you to be quiet. I told y'all I was dealing with this.
I feel like I don't have any problems with
Okay,
paying
you know
child
what?
support.
Good, because here's
Period.
the court's order. You're going to pay child support. Now, what she's asking is that you pay her tuition. All right? She said that she's working. You have 2 children, and she only wanted tuition for a 6-week course.
I don't feel like that I have to pay for her whims or her
I
inhibitions.
didn't ask you to pay for her whims. Now, you need to be quiet. Now, she's saying something about another child. Are you living with this other person?
Yes, I am.
And you have a child by another person already?
Yes, I do. Yes, ma'am.
So that's part of this marital problem, too.
No, that was.
All right. $600 a week is what you make.
Yeah, that's
Is the one
what.
other woman you
excuse
live
me.
with, does she work?
No,
She doesn't make any, she doesn't work.
no,
So you
not at this,
supporting her
not at
completely.
this time. Yes,
And that other child.
yes.
And you're leaving these 2 children unsupported
No.
regularly.
It's
I know
not.
you're not.
Those children are all of my
The
children.
order of this court is you will pay $200 per week as child support for the 2 minor children by Mrs. Brown, your wife, who is still your wife. $200 per week. That's about $800 a month for 2 kids.
Yes.
Not a lot of money.
Yes.
They have to survive too, you know. You taking care of another woman and another child. As you said about Mrs. Brown, you had the choice. You made a decision to have another baby knowing that you already had 2. Your choice. All right? So now you have to pay. That's the order of the court. Court's adjourned.
All rise.
When Divorce Court returns, an update on the case of Tracy Rains versus Gene Rains.
Your Honor, would you strip?
Joe, if he opens his mouth again, don't wait for me to say a word. Take him out of here.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. Tracy Rains said the 25-year age difference between she and her husband Gene wrecked their marriage because he treated her more like his daughter than his wife.
He tells me what to wear. I can't go out of the house with him if I'm not
She
covered.
wears tank tops so she show off her pierced belly button.
I'm young. You're old.
She dresses
Yes.
like a hooker.
He dresses like an old man.
Because you're the man that tells all the truth. You decide what's right. You know how to dress, and you know everything.
But Gene said Tracy ruined their marriage because she would not stop stripping.
Well, if she'd
That's the
done what
difference.
was right, we wouldn't be here today. Your Honor, would you strip?
Joe, if he opens his mouth again, don't wait for me to say a word. Take him out of here.
Gene wanted Tracy to give him back her engagement ring. The judge decided Tracy should keep the ring. The judge also ordered Gene to pay Tracy back $500 she loaned him to pay child support for his other children. After they left court, Gene felt the judge was unfair because Tracy admitted in court that she had broken her promise to stop stripping, and yet he still lost. Tracy said she planned to continue working as a stripper.
I did get everything I want from the court. Thank you.
I'm doing everything that I can to provide and to, just like the judge gave her what she wanted. beyond her means, just like she was saying, beyond her means. The judge put it beyond her means, so it's the final decision, so that's how it go.
Micah, I want you to know that our responsibility as parents is a combination. If we are supportive in that decision, we can do what we want in our own individual life.
As far as her having ambition in life, she must have just found it, because she ain't never had it up to now.